There I am. Welcome to Quality Control. I'm the quality control expert, Grant Cohn. Some people think I cover the 49ers. No. I'm the quality control expert. They watch me to get suggestions on what to do. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to give them advice today, how to handle this game, how to beat the Packers. But first, I'm going to pontificate because I like doing that too. Tell people what I think. Over under for Jimmy Pumps this week. Oh, 17. 17. All right, let me start with, I don't want to talk about Jimmy yet, though. He dominates the conversation on this team. He's the worst starter on the team, not talking special teams. Can we talk about some like the best player for a second? Why Deebo Samuel is the MVP of the NFL. It's probably not going to be Deebo. It's probably going to be Aaron Rodgers. It'll be interesting to see those two in the same game and which one has a bigger impact. I was just doing a radio hit with someone in Iowa. This is Packers country, and they're explaining, like, how come everyone says the Niners are such a bad matchup for the Packers? What's up with that? It's like, it's not that the Packers don't match up with the 49ers. It's that no one in the league has figured out a way to stop Deebo Samuel, the running back. No one. Since he's become a running back on this team, when he gets 6 carries, the Niners are undefeated. So I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, well, okay, all right. So you're telling me if the Niners sell out to stop Deebo Samuel, the running back, they'll win. Like, yeah, but other teams have tried that too, and it hasn't worked. The Rams sold out to stop Deebo Samuel. He ended up throwing a touchdown pass because they sold out. And then he also ran for a touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, if the Packers magically find a way to shut down Deebo Samuel, they'll probably win, but no one has done that this year. He's unshutdownable, which is why I think he's the MVP. Here's another way to look at it. His numbers would be a lot better if he played with Aaron Rodgers. But he'd be totally different. He wouldn't play running back if he were on the Packers. He'd be a wide receiver, and he'd be an all-pro wide receiver. He plays running back because of Jimmy Garoppolo. He puts up these numbers in spite of his quarterback. He doesn't get to play with the Pro Bowl quarterback. He plays with Jimmy, who no one trusts, and the 49ers run the ball as much as possible. Jimmy Garoppolo he's limited, and he has a propensity to make the big mistake at the worst possible moment. So what do the Niners do? They take the ball out of his hands, and Deebo Samuel, to not get phased out of the offense, had to play a new position, and he's even better at it. That's like a guy like Davante Adams. You could say, well, yeah, he's great, but he also plays with Aaron Rodgers. What would Davante Adams' numbers be if he played with Jimmy Garoppolo? They would not be nearly as good. And he'd have to play running back, and he can't play running back. Or a guy like Kittle. See, Kittle's numbers have suffered this year, not because he's any worse, but because you can't trust Jimmy. And really, ideally, you want to run the ball 40 times a game. So there's just not as many targets for Kittle anymore. If Kittle could magically play running back, then it wouldn't be an issue. If Kittle played for the Packers, he would have 120 catches a year and 15 touchdowns. But he plays for the 49ers, and he can't play running back. So all of a sudden, people are like, what's wrong with Kittle? Nothing. He just plays with Jimmy. And I think what's so interesting is the Niners have this Trent Dilfer level quarterback right now who's just throwing an outrageous amount of interceptions in the playoffs. Deebo Samuel is probably the only player in the league who can overcome Jimmy Garoppolo and win. You talk about Jimmy leading the Niners to victory. No. Deebo is leading the Niners to victory weekly. He has the unique ability to overcome Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know that any other wide receiver in the league can do it because you can't play wide receiver. If you're a pass catcher, you're already in a tough spot because to get the ball, it requires Jimmy Garoppolo throwing it. No one trusts that. You know, he's got a bad thumb, a bad shoulder, makes bad decisions, bad football IQ, all of it. Shrinks in the big moments. Deebo Samuel's the only guy, and I guess Raheem Mostert a couple of years ago too. You need a running back who can average 6 yards a carry, and that's Deebo. That was Mostert. To win with Jimmy Garoppolo consistently. That's Deebo. He's got to be the MVP of the NFL. The only player on offense in the league who can overcome Jimmy Garoppolo. Even more than Kittle. Kittle can't play running back. So what's he going to do? He still needs Jimmy to throw him the ball. Deebo for MVP. Let's talk about Deebo's workload. During the season, they kind of capped it at 10 touches. However, five carries, 5 catches, 8 carries, 2 catches. Usually capped it at 10. Last week, it was 10 carries, 3 catches. They bumped it up a little bit, which is good. I say, why stop there? If he's scoring a rushing touchdown every 7.5 carries, why not give him 15 carries? If you gave him 10 carries last week, why not 15? How about 15 carries for Deebo? Why not? There's only a few games left. He seems like he's doing okay. What's 5 more carries? That seems like increasing your odds of winning tremendously. Deebo should get 15 carries in this game, and I think he should get some catches too. Why not? Does he seem like the kind of guy who's limited to 15 touches? Why can't he have 20? I don't see why you would limit him, especially in a game where you're trying to run the ball as much as possible. He should not be phased out of this game if they can't throw because Jimmy Garoppolo's injured. I would say 15 carries for Deebo in this game, especially if it's tight and the Niners are losing at any point. Don't stop with that. That is your best play by far. If the Niners had committed to handing the ball to Deebo in the Super Bowl a few years ago, they would have won. They got to go down swinging if they go down. If they lose, Deebo Samuel better have gotten the ball 100 times. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to see Deebo Samuel workload increase. You got 13 touches last week? Great. Give him 16 this week. Give him 17 this week. Give him 20. There's no rule against it. Now, if they're just blowing out the Packers, then back off. Preserve Deebo Samuel. You got 2 more games. But if it's close, don't save him for a future game that may not happen. That's all I'm saying. The 49ers have this magical formula for victory. It's called hand the ball to Deebo. And it'd be a shame if they lost the ball because they didn't hand the ball to Deebo that much. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So keep doing that. I'd like to see 15 carries for Deebo Samuel. He had 10 last week. 15 is the goal. Let's keep talking about the run game. I'm not going to go to Jimmy yet. The ideal run-pass ratio. Last week, let me see. It was 38 runs, 25 passes. That's pretty good. Not good enough, though. To me, if that had been 48 runs and 15 passes, that game would have been put away way earlier. It wouldn't have come down to the final play. And they definitely could have had 48 runs against the Cowboys. I mean, in the second half, after the first drive, the 49ers just started passing for no reason. Kyle Shanahan just gets bored running the ball sometimes, even though he knows he should and can win running 48 times. He just feels like, I kind of want to pass now. I got to get the ball to Juwan Jennings now. I got to get the ball to Kittle. Kittle's mad. I don't know. And so just start throwing. And that's fine. You have all these playmakers you want to get the ball. You want to just have every single play go through Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel. But that involves Jimmy Garoppolo, the arsonist. So to me, let's look at the run-pass ratios for the Niners the last few games. Dallas, 38-25. Good. Could have been better. Rams, week before, 31 runs, 32 passes. I mean, they were behind, and they did come back running the ball, but still, run more. Houston, 37 runs, 23 passes. That was good. Trey Lance. Could have been better, though. Tennessee, 21 runs, 35 passes, and they lost. Wow. What a surprise. Atlanta, 32 runs, 23 passes. Cincinnati, 23 passes, 23 runs, 41 passes. Jimmy Garoppolo threw the pick that was dropped at the end. Seattle, 25 runs, 30 passes. Minnesota, 39 runs, 26 passes. Jacksonville, 42 runs, 22 passes. Rams, 44 runs, 19 passes. What happened to those games? Remember back-to-back? The Rams game, 44 runs, 19 passes. Jacksonville, 42 runs, 22 passes. It's like, were the Niners afraid that they were hurting Jimmy Garoppolo's trade value by doing that? That is how you win. That was your most dominating performances, those ones. The Rams game, the Jaguars game, 44 runs. Go for it. That is what you want. The ideal run-pass ratio. Seems to me that you can get there easily. I mean, you got Elijah Mitchell getting 20 to 27 carries a game. You got Deebo Samuel getting 10 to 15 carries. That's it right there. Boom. You win. 25 carries for Mitchell, 15 for Deebo. That's 40 carries right there. Can you get to 50? I think you can get to 50. I think the goal for this game against the Packers should be 50 runs. Who cares about the passing game? It involves Jimmy. The passing game features the biggest liability on the team. Don't use it. There's no reason to use it. Passing on second down with a lead, why? That's when Jimmy's interception came last week, 2nd and 11 with a lead. Why would you call that? You know what Jimmy is. Don't be surprised when he reveals himself to be the same person every single week. 50 runs. 50. I would like to see 50. The Niners came close against the Rams, 44. It can be done. The Niners can do it. 50 runs. I'd like to see them go for it. Think they can do it? I think they can. Let's talk about Jeff Wilson Jr. This guy has totally fallen off the map, and it's not right. Here's the story of Jeff Wilson Jr. Last year, he averaged 4.8 yards per carry for this team and scored 10 touchdowns. Jeff Wilson Jr. led the team in touchdowns. Now, a lot of players were in and out, injured. Most guys didn't play most of the year. Still, had a hell of a year. 4.8 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns. That's a good year. This year, tears his meniscus in the offseason, sets him back. Comes back early. His first 3 starts, he averages 2.7 yards per carry, scores no touchdowns. Then they back off him a little bit because he was so unproductive, and Elijah Mitchell comes back. Then Mitchell gets hurt, remember? And Jeff Wilson starts about 3 games, comes back, starts about 3 games. And over those 3 games, he had 48 carries, 211 yards. That's 4.4 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good. I mean, solid. Above average? Can we say that? Average, above average? Okay. 4.4 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Then he's gone. Mitchell comes back, forgets you. Jeff Wilson Jr., peace, you're done. Because Mitchell's very good, of course. But what has Mitchell done since then? He's had 3 games, Houston, Rams, Cowboys. In those 3 games, he's averaged 4.3 yards per carry, scored a touchdown. So I love Mitchell, but they both should be playing. And I'm not saying take carries away from Mitchell. One of the things that's nice about him is he's never fumbled in his life, in his NFL career or his college career, never fumbled. So you can at least, he's the anti-Jimmy Garoppolo in that sense. But Jeff Wilson Jr. is a big threat. He's a touchdown threat. He's a good player, and he helps you get to the magic number of 50 runs. 50, 5-0. So if you give Elijah Mitchell 25, Deebo 15, there's 10 left over for Jeff Wilson Jr. Why not? Those 10 runs are always better than a Jimmy pass. Anytime Jimmy Garoppolo drops back to throw, the other team is happy because there is a 4-5% chance that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to throw a pick. There's about a 5% chance that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to throw an interception every time he drops back in the playoffs. That's his interception percentage, 4.8. So they want to see him throw. So don't. I was just on the radio. They're like, so what do they got to do to beat the Niners? You got to force them to throw somehow. I don't really know how you do that. It's kind of teams have had no success forcing them. But if you can do that and put the game in Jimmy's hands, then you might win. Tennessee did it. So I don't know. I don't know if Green Bay is equipped to do it. It seems to me that if the Niners rediscover Jeff Wilson Jr., use Deebo the way they should, and stick with Elijah Mitchell, that they should win the freaking game. I don't know. Let's talk about the Jimmy Garoppolo effect, though. Jimmy Garoppolo gets a lot of credit for winning, you know. The Niners somehow, some way pull out a close game, and he gets the credit. Wow, you know, that one drive at the end, or, you know, what he did in the first half, or this little thing here, this little thing there. And once again, the Niners squeak out a close victory. I just want to say I haven't talked about Jimmy till now. I just want to point out that in the opening round, the Niners won by 6. They kicked the shit out of the Cowboys, in my opinion. They kicked their ass, but only won by 6. And we all know why. Quarterback. I just wanted to point out that round 1, we're looking at the Niners as a potential Super Bowl, you know, contender winner because of Deebo and all these great players. The Bills also kicked ass like the Niners in the first round of the playoffs, but the Bills won by 30. The Bucks also kicked ass in the first round of the playoffs. They won by 16. The Rams also kicked ass in the first round of the playoffs, won by 23. And the Chiefs also kicked ass in the first round of the playoffs. They won by 21. Now, forget the Rams because they're frauds, but the other 3 teams, Bills, Bucks, Chiefs, You know what they are? They're great teams with great quarterbacks. And when you have a great team and a great quarterback, you often blow teams out. This team is a great team without a great quarterback. It's a great team with a liability at quarterback. And so even when they kick opponents' asses, game goes down to the end. Every game is an adventure because the most important player on the team is the worst starter on the team. That's the Jimmy Garoppolo effect. Even when the Niners kick butt, game goes down to the end. Unless they're playing Atlanta, or the Rams. Unless they're playing the Rams. Although the last Rams game went to overtime. And if they had to play him a third time, I don't know how that would go. Niners got kind of lucky that last one. But yeah, that's the Jimmy Garoppolo effect. And when people say like, oh, he's a secret sauce of why the Niners win, they haven't proven they can win without him, I miss me with that. Because he's the reason that they have to walk this tightrope and make things so difficult every week when it should be easy. They're loaded. They have no weaknesses. I was on the radio. Someone said, how do you attack the Niners defense? I'm like, really, it's got no weaknesses. The secondary's not great, but it's decent. The pass rush is excellent. The run defense is excellent. The running offense is excellent. The weapons are excellent. You just got to force them to pass. Can you? I don't know. The Jimmy Garoppolo effect. Anyway, just the fact that the Niners have to work around his limitations leaves them in close games where fluky things could happen, right? Special teams could lose you the game. A fumble could lose you the game. A Kyle Williams situation. Remember that? Remember? Alex Smith was kind of like this too. Had a dominant team, not a great quarterback. He let those Giants hang around, and Kyle Williams lost the game. Special teams was the reason the Niners didn't win the Super Bowl in 2011. Could happen this year too because of the Jimmy Garoppolo effect. They're not equipped to blow out teams, apparently. I mean, they blew out the Packers a couple of years ago with Jimmy Garoppolo. Are they going to blow them out next? I don't think so. They couldn't blow out Dallas. And I guess Jimmy Garoppolo fans would say, who cares how you win? Well, as long as they win the Super Bowl, sure. But to me, the Jimmy Garoppolo effect is very scary. And I think, again, I keep referencing this interview I did on the radio. Packers fans seem real scared. And they said, so Niner fans are real confident right now, huh? I'm like, I don't know about that. Their quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo. How confident can you really be when you got the arsonist under center? You can't trust him. In the biggest moments, he's the least trustworthy. So, and really, that this game's going to come down to the end. Like what he does is he keeps both teams in the game. He makes some plays for the Niners so that his supporters can be like, boom, XYZ. Those plays helped. And then he helps the other team. So people like me can be like, boom, XYZ is the reason that team's in the game. He keeps both teams in the game. It's like he works for the NFL office. He's all about drama and intrigue. That game had better ratings last week in Dallas because Jimmy made it go down to the wire. Really, the Niners should have put it away in the third quarter with that long throw to freaking Brandon Ayuk. But Jimmy's like, nah, if I complete this throw right here, everyone's going to turn off the game. All the casual fans will turn away, and the people watching on Nickelodeon won't watch anymore. So what I'm going to do is make sure this game goes down to the wire. Also, at the end, when he could have iced it with the quarterback sneak, he's like, nah, again, we need this to go down to the final play. And it did. So I got to give Jimmy Garoppolo credit for that. That's the Jimmy Garoppolo effect. Money for everyone involved, the league, the teams. He understands drama. Me. How much do I talk about Jimmy Garoppolo? I said I wouldn't talk about him. Now I've been talking about him. Jimmy Garoppolo has an uncanny ability to make everyone money. Niners, the NFL, me, and he's not even good. It's great. He's so amazing, man. He is such a phenomenon. Never has a mediocre person been so special. He's the most special, mediocre quarterback I've ever seen. In so many ways. The Jimmy Garoppolo effect. God, what a guy. Man, I hope he sticks around next year. Make it hard on him, Jimmy, man. Go out there, throw 2 picks and win like you always do. And be like, what are you going to do? I won, though. 2 picks, 60 quarterback rating. What are you going to do, though? How do you know that Trey Lance would be better? You don't, because you won't give him a chance. Got to stick with me. Come on, Jimmy. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Not Giants fans 10 years ago, SF Giants fans 10 years ago, he's talking about torture. Jimmy is torture. Watching Jimmy. It's like, oh, we're gonna kick Dallas's butt. No. That's just not interesting. If Ambry can't go, should Mosley shadow Adams? I know he sticks to one side, but Johnson will get smoked for sure. Yeah, especially in key moments. I wouldn't trust backups on Adams. Sup, hater? Enough with the GOAT slander. Jim is a top 3 quarterback in history of the league. We need 40 to 50 passes or more from him to win. Fire and rescue. I love the fire and rescue. It's hilarious. You know I'm all about that. Niners haven't won 4 in a row this year. Should we be worried? Yes. This is their 3rd straight road game. That's exhausting. It's exhausting. The Packers are probably the best team in the league. But again, the Niners have Deebo, who's unstoppable right now. And that is why the Packers are freaked out, I would have to say. All right, one more thing, and then I'll give my prediction. Robbie Gould spoke. Robbie Gold. His name is Gold. I've been calling him Gould. Sorry, Robbie. Robbie Gold said yesterday that of course he has a lot of experience kicking in the cold, but that the ball just doesn't really travel as far. He just threw that out there. I guess he's trying to lower the expectations because last week he hit 2 50-plus yard field goals, 2, which is not something he does often. We usually see him outdoors at Levi's where his limit is about 45 yards, maybe 50 if he's feeling frisky, but usually 45. He hit a 52 and a 53, I think, last week. And I think what he was saying is like, hey, don't expect that again. Kyle shouldn't even attempt those kicks. I think 45 would be the outside limit for Robbie Gould, and that's important for Kyle to think about field position. You need to get to that. So at 45, that would be the 28. No, 27. You got to get to the 27-yard line. So if you're at the 35, don't pass and get sacked. Run the ball. All the more reason to keep running the ball. That 27-yard line is the magic yard line for you. You want to get to the 27 because Robbie Gould already told you he's not going to kick a field goals past that. And this game is going to come down to like a field goal because Jimmy Garoppolo will make sure it will. If the Niners are up by 9, 10, 12, he'll be like, okay. He'll be like, oh, people are tuning out. I'll throw a pick. Got it. I'll take one for the team. Got it. That's why the NFL loves him so much. It takes one for the team. Anyway, yeah, this game's probably going to come down to a field goal like the last one did. And just know that it can't be a 52-yarder. If you're at the 27, don't pass and take a sack. Just keep running. I brought up this topic just to tell Kyle again. Keep running the ball. 50 runs. Every time Jimmy goes back to pass, I hope my breath and get another gray hair. Yeah, all he needs, that's why he has gray hairs, because he gives himself gray hairs. All he needs to do is manage correctly. Jimmy, stop. Make this interesting. Speak the truth, Grant. I know. And people, when I say it, people say I'm being so mean to him. But even Jimmy Garoppolo supporters have to admit that they feel that way too. Have to. The Jimmy Garoppolo experience, and I don't root for the team, so it just makes me laugh. But I can only imagine rooting for a team that he's the quarterback of. Will age you quick. Jimmy is the cat on Funniest Home Videos that looks you in your eyes as they swipe the mason jar off the counter. Yes, I know what I'm doing. That's right. I like that. Jimmy's even made you a few bucks every show. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. Jimmy is great. Keys to victory, double Devontae, limit Jimmy to 20 attempts, tell special teams to do less. How about Jimmy? 15. How about 15 for Jimmy? How about 15 throws for Jimmy? How about that? I will go for 15. Okay. Final score prediction. I haven't said one yet. All week I felt like the Packers are going to score 24 points because they're a better offense than the Cowboys. The Cowboys had the number 1 rated offense, but as Jason Aponte pointed out on this channel on Thursday, they accumulated those numbers by beating up on the NFC East, which is basically a minor league conference. It's terrible. Packers actually play in a real conference, a real division, and they have a better offense than the Cowboys. They have 2 good running backs. They have one of the 3 best wide receivers in the league in Devontae Adams, and one of the 2 best. The 2 best wide receivers in the league are Devontae Adams and Deebo Samuel. End of story. So they got him. Oh, they got Aaron Rodgers. He's really good too. So the Niners defense is up to the task. They're going to sack Aaron Rodgers 3-4 times, but Rodgers is going to get them too. And I think 24 is pretty reasonable. I think Jesse and Jason both agree that the Packers are going to score 24. We all agree the Packers are going to score 24. So where does that leave the Niners offense? To me, as long as they do what we laid out, take the game away from Jimmy the Arsonist, take it away. Say today your job is to be Jimmy the hander-offer. And if they run the ball more than 40 times, the goal is 50. If they run the ball more than 40 times, give Deebo Samuel his carries, Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson too, I don't think this team can lose. I think the only thing in the way of the Niners winning the Super Bowl is an injury to one of these running backs. It could happen in this game. It could happen any time running backs get hurt, but they're healthy now. And Kyle Shanahan is watching the show. Clearly, he's taking quality control of the heart as opposed to earlier in the year when he couldn't figure out which players to play. I think he's going to do the right thing. As Spike Lee would say, I think he's going to call a boatload of runs. The Niners are going to win the time of possession, 2-1. They're going to run 2-1, 3-1 in their run-pass ratio, and they're going to win 27-24. I have the 49ers winning 27-24, and I feel confident about this because I feel confident that Jimmy won't throw much. 15 passes. 25 is too much. 25 is too much. Because, again, 5% of his throws get picked off in the playoffs, 5%. So as few as possible, that's how I would go. 27-24. I don't think Deebo Samuel's stoppable. I think he's the MVP of the league. And as long as they got him doing this, I feel pretty confident with the Niners. This team really changed halfway through the year. And it's funny that they're just winning by giving the ball to Deebo. The most sophisticated, cutting-edge offense in the league is reduced to give the ball to Deebo. But that's football. You can have great ideas, but, in the 80s, the Raiders just gave the ball to Bo. Now the Niners just give the ball to Deebo. He's the second coming of Bo Jackson in a sense. Just give it to Deebo. Final score, 27-24 Niners. What would be your advice if the Packers stop the run? Also, can we go for the fourth down, no holding back? If the Packers stop the run, my advice would be to play Trey Lance. The Packers actually do a much better job against running backs than they do against rushing quarterbacks. They're terrible against quarterbacks who run. Against running backs, I think they're giving up 4.3 yards per carry, which is totally reasonable. So that's what I would say. Bring in Trey Lance and run the ball. They're not going to stop the run. Are Kyle and Josh holding some secret plays for Trey that they will pull out this game since it is win or go home? I don't think so. But I hope so. We're due for a fluke 200-yard Garoppolo game. He's injured, though. It's going to be cold. I don't expect him to just all of a sudden look healthy and have this one of these fluky great games. If he does, I'll praise him. But that hasn't been his pattern the last 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks is he's not playing well. He's not really controlling where the ball's going. And now I think he's going to have even more difficulty controlling where the ball's going because of the cold. Bold prediction, 2 interceptions by our secondary, 1 by Emery. That is bold. That is very bold. I'm not going there, but it's bold. Shanahan can't play Trey at this point. How stupid he would look if Trey played and balled out. He'd look stupid either way, right? If Trey played and balled out, Kyle looks dumb. If Trey plays and loses, Kyle looks dumb. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. He pretty much can't do it. Yeah. Grant, love the show as always. Speaking facts out here. Always getting the Jimmy stands mad. Got faith in the Niners, but not Jimmy. Play the kid. Play the kid. Play the kid. Let him do what Colin Kaepernick did to the Packers so many times. All right, guys. That's the show. I think I've given the Niners the advice they need. It's pretty simple. Give the ball to Deebo until you win. That's how you beat every team in the league. It doesn't change. Give the ball to Deebo and then give it to Elijah Mitchell and then sprinkle in Jeff Wilson Jr. And then if you got to throw it to Kittle or Deebo or Ayuk and pray that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw it to someone on the other team. All right, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with Rob Shoe. We're going to do a special shoe show on Saturday since the game is in the evening. So see you then, everyone.